Bonjour, this is Jasmine. Thank you so much for stopping to smell the roses on Rue Madame. For those of you who are new to the neighborhood, I am a writer, a storyteller, and a community builder. I write about culture, politics, parenthood, and my life here in France. Lately, I have been focused on the state of the world, the pandemic, the social unrest, and the international uproar, it seems. But despite my content focusing on that lately, I have been writing and doing other things. For example, my latest post over on Patreon is a magazine submission. It's a letter to my younger self. So that's really interesting and light and not so dark and sad. Also, I uploaded the latest newsletter for Rue Madame, and that gives you the latest updates on what's to come and what's unfolding. For example, our book club has launched today, so I'm very excited about that. I was at the bookstore earlier to order my first pick for the Rue Madame book club. Thank you so much to my patrons. One of my patrons picked our first book. Thank you, Rathi. And also a lot of parenting articles about the struggles of parenthood. So those are the things that I've recently worked on. This video, however, is about the usage of the term minority, people of color versus black. My participation in the Paris protest was empowering. It was a mix of emotions, and I shared that in the previous video. But what I appreciate the most was the solidarity, the unity, and the collective momentum that was great to see. It was encouraging. Black Lives Matter and all lives matter. And in that statement, very true. Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. But saying that can also erase Black lives. And it often does. So when you put it in a kumbaya, everybody's equal, let's not make this just about. So I think without even meaning to, you can be more detrimental. And you can often mute the people you're trying to help. Like, okay, I'm with them, they have problems, I have problems too, let's all put our problems together, and we forget about Black lives. We forget about George, we forget about Breonna, we forget about, and it's like, we need that momentum, we need that inclusivity, that diversity, that inclusion, and that unity. But just being delicate and sensitive and sensitive and cautious of that type of oh, everybody has problems, and I'm this and I'm that, and since I'm this and I'm that, I'm a part of the Black Lives Matter movement. It's like, are you a part of the Black Lives Matter movement because you have problems too, or are you part of the Black Lives Matter movement because you are concerned about Black lives? Like, it's 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 not an either or, but if your emphasis is not on Black lives and it's only about you, you know what I mean? Uh, who was under the need for 8 minutes? So he has to suffer, and everybody can jump on the wagon. So it's kind of like, yeah, everybody has problems. For light to get on this topic, a Black person has to die. You know what I mean? Whether it's a Black trans woman, whether it's a Black woman, cis woman, if it's whether it's a Black man or whatever, it seems like, statistically speaking, we have that brunt. So when you say all lives matter, and Black Lives Matter and we all matter and da, da, da. It's just kind of like, ugh, yes, but nah. It's not clear. It's not yes, no, and that's it. It's like, yeah, but um, that's how I feel about that. Um, I was looking at a Grapevine episode, and the most recent one was If Protests Work. And the Grapevine is an awesome YouTube show that I suggest you watch. But on the panel, they talked about how even people of color can be as resentful and hateful and can have as much animosity as racist whites towards the Black community, and how using people of color and minority can also be as bad as um, the very far right crazies who are against the movement altogether. Because I recently did a video on the dozens and dozens of posts I've seen recently on my timeline about what's happening, and a lot of it is thought provoking and interesting and amusing sometimes. A lot of it is very sad. But I saw a couple that were just despicable and disgusting. And these two posts were from people of color and or minorities, people who are supposed to understand the plight and the wrath that Black people face. They're supposed to understand it because they both have problems too. Minorities and people of color all face some level, some intensity of what we face. But these people of color, minorities, posted Candace Owens videos. The most recent one that was blaming the victim, that was vilifying a dead man. This is the post that they put up. And I said to myself, okay, they put this post up to tell everybody else not to do it. This is just them saying, you see, this post is so bad. Can you believe this? Look at this. Look at her, spew this hatred and ignorance and evil. Like, look, that's what I'm thinking. They had to have posted this to say. And I wanted to write, thank you so much. This is so disgusting. We should all ban this. I'm glad you're thinking like I'm thinking. But I didn't say anything. I didn't write anything. And I realized that they were agreeing with this person and they thought she had a valid point and they thought it was powerful, and they were like discussing what good points she had, what bad points she had, and it was just, I was just, I wanted to, I was just, people of color, people of color. So how was I supposed to react to this? Am I supposed to unfriend them? Am I supposed to say something? Am I supposed to ignore it all? Should I just ignore it? No, I just decided to do this video and let the pieces fall. I just think those people who posted that would like to say these heinous things, but since it's not politically correct, they'll let this Black girl do it for them. And they'll say, oh, she's Black. she's black and she's saying this. Well, it couldn't be, I can't say it, but she's black, she's a part of that community, and I'll let her say it. These ridiculous things. And I think in their head, in people of color's head that don't really get it, they're saying she's a part of that community. But black people are over here and said, no, she's not a part of our community. Technically, she's black, she is a part of the black community, but black people do not recognize her as a member of this group, not a person who says the same thing that the president says, doesn't repeat the same rhetoric that the president says. So it's like, it's really tricky to lump people in without any accountability. And that's the next point I want to get to. People who claim that they get it, claim that they understand, people who also have problems and systemic racism that comes their way. I think if you want to be an ally or a supporter or just a friend, you have to be accountable. And there's a lack of accountability for people who say what they want, do what they want, claim they know Black Lives Matter, but they're accountable to no one. You know, all the comments under this post, under this black girl's comments, black girls, you know, Candace Owens' video, were white people and people of color that weren't black discussing this. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if you have black friends, you may not even have black friends other than me on your friends list, but if no one is co-signing this madness, if no one is, you know, no other black people are saying, oh yeah, she's right, or you know what I mean, if there's no collective or objectionable commentary, I think you shouldn't share things like that because it can be very offensive and disgusting and hurtful to the people that you know personally. So I think I'm going to put that in the list of benefits you have on Rue Madame is accountability services. People who do not have black friends, who have limited black friends, if you need someone to talk to before you post something like that, I'm here for you. But seriously, on a serious note, I think people who have a black spouse or a black child or a black friend, I think that person needs someone, another black person who isn't close or doesn't have that affinity towards that person to be real with them, to say, no, that's not cool. It does make you look like a racist. Maybe you do have racist tendencies that you may need to check out, even though you're a person of color. And you need to pay that person for their services, for recounting their personal trauma and their personal experience with racism to explain to you this isn't cool. I don't know. So I think we need to be cautious, sensitive, and delicate. These are the solutions I'm coming to as far as how you maneuver these muddy waters, because you can be the problem. You can become the problem. A person of color or a non-black person who thinks that they are part of the movement or the solution is in fact part of the problem. And they are also people of color, minorities, with their own issues. So I'm curious to know what you think and what you agree with or disagree with. I open to listen. And again, check out patreon.com/Rue Madame to get access to all my exclusive content. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.